Welcome into Bears Latest. I'm Dan Levy, Fan Art Sports. The Green Bay Packers suck. Welcome in as we take a look and we explore what Tuesday's practice was at Hallis Hall. The entire preseason that we're leading up to and training camp that is just finished up in terms of what was going on with the latest installments of practices and what Ben Johnson's been trying to do culminated in the most physical practice anybody has ever seen. We went from it's going to go light, we're going to try to do things that are very easy for these guys, not so much until the pads came on and then a little bit hitting, and then we were still seeing things with Caleb Williams that was concerning everybody. And then the lights turned on. Ben Johnson came in and said, we're live, which means to everybody else, we're good to go. We're going to be tackling. It's going to be real football, real defense versus real offense. And man, did it get physical? Did it get chippy? Injuries were had. Scuffles were had. Brouhahas came down. And it was the hardest hitting practice they've ever experienced in Chicago or anywhere else. Cornerback Tarek Stevenson said he couldn't remember a more physical day in his 3 camps of the Bears. Running back Roschon Johnson called it the most intense practice since joining the team. And cornerback Nashawn Wright agreed and explained that while only one live tackling period was scheduled, the intensity quickly escalated. He said, in quote, "There's a switch you turn on as soon as you tell somebody we're going live. It's hard to dial it back, so it just became live practically the entire practice." Full contact practices are very rare in Chicago, by the way, especially under any recent regimes. And a brief glimpse because, A, when Matt Nagy was here and even Matt Eberflus, those guys were not really doing much. They were just kind of doing their thing. But Johnson borrowed from his time in Detroit under Dan Campbell, brought full contact goal line and short yardage situations back to the forefront. He said, and then Tariq Stevenson said, it's what we should practice like every day. That's the message from the coaching staff. If we want to be a championship team, this is what it looks like. And this is what we've been waiting for with Ben Johnson. This is what we've been looking for the kind of intensity. Again, the Bears are shedding culture and turning a new one. Whatever happened last season is all done. It's all behind us. All that stuff that happened with Eberflus, it's gone. It's gone. Ben Johnson, Dennis Allen, it's a new regime. Everybody is starting anew, and a practice like this wakes everybody up. We went from, we're not really sure what Caleb Williams is going to be, we're not sure what this offense is to, it's on, it's live, and we saw some things from Caleb Williams that we haven't seen all training camp. He actually did some things. He went 4 for 5 on 7-on-7s, connecting with DJ Moore in a couple of sharp routes. And finally, a bomb to Rome Odunze, a 40-yard touchdown, capped his day, one of his best completions of camp. Other guys had good stuff. Tyson Bagent and tight end Joel Wilson on a goal line play in action. Cole Kmet scored on a 4th down play action throw. The only bad news is that when you have these kind of practices, when you do these kinds of things, the bad news is that people get hurt. It becomes real football. So Cole Kmet led with head trainer Andre Tucker. His status going to be monitored closely. And Doug Kramer also exited with an apparent injury as well. Other updates, Ricky Stromberg, Deion Hankins, and Scott Daly returned. And still we have some injuries that are still keeping people out right now, including Shamar Turner and Zach Frazier and Miles Boykin. Those guys are done. But as veterans say, this is the time to go hard. Veteran defensive tackle Grady Jarrett explained before camp that this is part of the year where intensity matters most. You should make this the hardest part of the season. When the game time comes, you know what you got in the tank. And that's what it is. It's a new identity. It's a new feel. It's like we did all this stuff in practice. We spent hours and hours and days and months and weeks on schemes and transitions and all the stuff that goes into what this new offense is. And then everybody got down on Caleb. He's not the quarterback. We're very worried. We're scared. But Ben Johnson kept telling us over and over and over again, he's not worried. Everything is where it should be. And we said it before. We won't know what this offense is. We don't know what Caleb Williams is until he's in front of full physical play. And that's what went down. That's what happened. And I couldn't be more proud. I couldn't be more happy with the fact that these guys finally got to feel what it would be like for an intense. Now, check this out. Friday, dual practice. The Miami Dolphins are in town. They'll have a practice. And then Sunday, they got their preseason game. So it's going to get more chippy, but finally these guys get to hit somebody other than themselves and hopefully stop injuring each other, and they get to hit other people. And this is, again, another chance to see what these Bears are going to be, what this offense is going to be, and what it's going to look like. Another thing that we got to see what happened is, well, the battle for a second cornerback is now up for grabs. With Rome Odunze getting one on Deshaun Wright, and Deshaun Wright has been nearly flawless in Bears camp until Tuesday when Rome Odunze got behind him and hauled in a bomb from Caleb Williams for a touchdown. But it was a rare blemish for Wright in what's otherwise been a pretty standout camp. An open battle now is at quarterback. Despite being listed behind Tariq Stevenson on the Bears' initial depth chart, Wright is very much in the mix for the second starting cornerback spot, especially with Jalen Johnson sidelined due to injury. Wright has taken full advantage of daily reps with starters, and he has impressed. He's entering the league in his fifth season, having played 3 years in Dallas and a short stint in Minnesota, now in Chicago, and he's forcing a true position battle, which is fantastic. So right now there is a battle going on between him and Tariq Stevenson. And after what happened with last season with Tariq Stevenson and the whole talking to the fans before a Hail Mary play, and pretty much I would say that game led to the downfall of what last season was. Had it not been for that Hail Mary, had it not been for that completion, who knows what could have happened with the Bears. But it left a lot of doubts in the minds of Bears fans, including this one, if Tariq Stevenson is the guy that should be going forward that has that second cornerback spot. But again, Tariq Stevenson is putting in extra work. He's meeting with coaches, doing the early morning film study, all that stuff. Anything to prove that he deserves to be in the lineup opposite Jalen Johnson. But beware. There's another guy who wants that. There's another guy who wants to get involved. Deshaun Wright wants this just as much. And with new scheme levels on the playing field, with Dennis Allen bringing in a more man-heavy system, both Wright and Stevenson are adjusting to this fresh scheme and thriving in it. So not only is this system helping out, but it's actually bringing players to battle within each other. Neither player has a scheme advantage. This is a complete head-to-head battle in every sense. And we'll see what happens with that because, again, the most pleasant surprise that has happened this entire offseason in a training camp is the defense. The defense has been the one that has raised eyebrows. The defense has been the one that has made us all go, oh my God, I think we have another chance with them alone. Because think about it, it's all been offensive talk. The Bears have always been known for defense. They've always been known for those defensive schemes, and they've always been known for monsters in the midway. The linebackers, the rushing edgers, the cornerbacks. We have seen nothing but devastating defenses on the Bears. And this is the season we thought that we may not see that. We thought it was all going to the offense, and the defense was going to kind of have to was going to lag behind the offense. We were so wrong. For what it looks like, for what it appears like, this defense, I am more excited for than the offense. I'm excited to see how these guys thrive in this new scheme. Dennis Allen is doing things with his defense I didn't think it was even possible. So, again, when it comes down to it, who's going to get that second cornerback, especially with Jalen Johnson still hurt? Is it Deshaun Wright, or is it going to be Tariq Stevenson? I don't know, but preseason looms, and the clarity will clean up. And again, don't forget, during preseason games, cuts will happen. Cuts and people not being there and finalizing what this offense and defense and this team is going to look like. So while no final decisions have been made, both Wright and Stevenson are making their cases daily, and soon it will play out under the lights, and soon we will have a real idea of who's going to get that second spot. I want to see either one do it, so I'm pumped either way we go with this one. And finally, we head over towards what some people are talking about is another bold prediction about Caleb Williams. Everybody's got one. We enter the 2025 season with playoff aspirations. The Chicago Bears are heading into the 2025 season with hopes of making a playoff. And a lot of people are taking note. Caleb Williams is making national headlines because, again, he came in with such thunder. He came in with such a rough season last year, but he was number one. So much talent, so much generational stuff. Personality, that's another thing we don't really talk about with Caleb. He's got the best personality of any quarterback since Jim McMahon. The guy is cool. You hear him talk. He's so professional. He knows what to say. He's out and about. He's hanging out with fans. He's going golfing at night and hitting up mini golf and driving ranges. That's what we all wanted to see from Jay Cutler. I mean, honestly, if you look back on it and you say, man, if Jay Cutler was cool, he could have owned this town. He could be owning this town. But instead, he went with the whole I don't care and yada, yada, yada. Dan Orlovsky, ESPN's First Take. Former NFL quarterback Dan Orlovsky named Caleb Williams the player with the most to prove this season. That means he topped the list ahead of Trevor Lawrence, J.J. McCarthy, Bryce Young, Anthony Richards, which, by the way, Anthony Richards is a whole nother level. That dude's got more to prove than anything else. But he said, it's go time for Williams. You have to go out and show that you are the talent, the player, and the future of the organization for a team and a place that desperately has been begging for it. That's a lot of pressure on him. But again, there's not a lot of panic right now. Again, if you don't think that Caleb Williams is feeling what we are all doing to him right now and what we're all launching at him as far as here's where you need to be, here's what it's got to be, and here's what it's got to look like, the dude feels it. He feels this conversation. Caleb Williams knows exactly what he's got to do. He knows exactly where he needs to be in this offense, and he knows exactly what's expected out of him. From the moment he got here, he knew that this is probably going to be a place where he would not be able to thrive unless the Bears made some real changes to the offense. It's come out publicly. He needed to be coached harder. He didn't have anybody in the film rooms with him, and it's been a really rough training camp with him making a lot of mistakes, getting chewed out, getting ripped off the first team and benched, and then the Bears Fest, just not a great look. But he knows exactly what the pressure is. And I got to tell you, from the looks of him, from the reactions of him, I'm not sure if our pressure on him is as much as the pressure that he's putting on himself. So when it comes to what's going on with him and what's going on with this defense, or this offense, we'll see what happens with Caleb Williams. Again, it's now starting to get physical, and he reacted perfectly. He had a great game. He's looking better when it came to live practices where they were actually going for each other. And that's what I've been wanting to say. That's the whole thing I've been saying this whole time. Let's relax on Caleb Williams. We still don't know what he is. This entire training camp has been about, can he get schemes? Can he get past making the stupid mistakes? Which, again, I've said it before, these are all teachable moments. These are all teachable things. He's got the talent. He just needs to be taught the right way. And again, even if this isn't a breakout season, even if he serves as just a functional season, the next season they'll have under Ben Johnson, that might be the breakout season. So if you're a Bears fan out there and you're expecting him to be better right now, he's got to be better right now, it may not happen. Does that mean that Tyson Bagent is should be the better quarterback? No. Does that mean that Case Keenum should be the guy that lines up under center instead of Caleb Williams? No. Again, we don't know what this is. We don't know where we're going with this. We got to give patience where patience is due. Third new offense for this guy under Ben Johnson. I think we're going to see something pretty cool from him. But the one thing as Bears fans that we need to have that we probably haven't had as much of is a little more patience and a little more, let's see what is really going on in the mix. If you trust Ben Johnson, like all offseason and during the season when everybody was saying we need Ben Johnson, we don't want anybody else, it's got to be Ben Johnson. Can't be Pete Carroll, can't be any of those guys, it's got to be him. Trust in the process, trust in what's going on. And just like you and I are going to be doing, we're going to have to wait and see how this all pans out. But I will say this, can't wait for preseason game number 1 on Sunday versus the Dolphins. And hopefully we will see Caleb Williams playing a lot. I think he'll be playing in most of these preseason games. And because he didn't have a lot of time to practice, we're going to see exactly what this offense is and what it looks like behind a real defense going after him that's not his own defense. This has been Bears Latest on Fan Art Sports. I'm Dan Levy. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and chat it up. Let me know what you thought of Tuesday's practice of these guys going live and what you're thinking of where your expectations are for Caleb. Are you expecting big things out of Caleb right now, or are you cool to be patient for one more year? I think it's going to be pretty good, but I'm still going to be patient with the guy anyway. Once again, this has been Bears Latest Fan Art Sports. I'm Dan Levy. Thanks for joining me. And remember one thing and one thing only, the Green Bay Packers suck. See you guys next time.